Hello everyone. So I'd just like to say a big thank you to everyone here who has organized the event and who made this possible, and everyone for you for coming to this event. So when I think about this topic, roots and shoots, first of all I think about the roots being my base and my foundation and all the challenges and sacrifices that I've made in my life that's inspired the growth in my shoots to make me who I am today. And I can probably say, like hopefully everyone else in this room, that I've matured from the person that I was those many years ago. So my name is Rio, and I'm extremely privileged to be sharing here my experiences in my life and the whys and the hows of how it shaped me into who I am today. So this is my talk. Thank you. Next slide, please. Yeah. So this was me when I was quite young, and I was flung onto the tennis scene at an extremely young age, and as you can tell, I was a really young boy, and I had my first national tennis competition at the mere age of 8. And it must be a pretty daunting experience, I'm pretty sure, for every one of you, but I'm definitely sure it was a daunting experience for me, especially competing in all these tournaments at such a young age. It definitely taught me so many values that I still hold dear to my heart to this day. And I think the most important thing is that through these years, somehow my peers were really far ahead of me in terms of skill set and ability. But I think the most important thing I had to learn through all of that and all my struggles was how to cope with defeat. First of all, I think defeat is something that not just me as a child had to go through, but I'm pretty sure every one of you in this room have had to go through. It's the absolute one negotiable in life that is inevitable for all of us. And I feel that defeat is an extremely good learning value, as it teaches you how to grow, how to take the positives from the negatives, and take something up the chin, as my dad would say. But I think the most important thing about defeat is that it truly fuels that innate desire in you to grow and succeed from the past failures that you have had. So, as I began to grow and mature physically and mentally, and I entered this very school, I began to find success and started to pursue tennis. And the one thing that I realized when I was pursuing tennis is that it is a really, really lonely sport. It's truly just only you out there with your opponent, and you have to figure out how to beat him all by yourself. And for me as a young kid at that age, it truly felt like there was a spotlight shone on me with absolutely nowhere to turn and all expectations on me. And especially as a young kid, it really, really hurt being all alone on the court and seeing a physical divide, a literal fence separating you from your parents and your friends, when truly all you want is just their support and their love. But I think through all of this, now that I reflect, all of these struggles and the daunting experiences that I faced as a kid, it truly made me realize how to figure things out by myself and how to forcefully mature on the court and figure out how to win by myself. And I think these are the values that I still carry on to myself till this day. So as I was talking and I began to come into the school and mature physically and mentally, I began to find success in tennis on an international level. And I've had the absolute privilege of captaining my country on an international level and playing countries and experiencing and playing all these new players that we'll one day see on the big screen. And experiencing all these new cultures and experiencing hardships and success at the same time, I can definitely say has molded me into a more resilient and determined person than I was many years ago. And so you might be wondering, why am I telling you all of this? Well, I think many of us can agree that whenever we have success and whenever we have glamour seen on the outside, sometimes that's truly what people only see you for. Well, behind this success for me was a gigantic curtain. And behind that curtain for me was absolute thousands and thousands of hours of hard work and dedication fueled into my pursuit for the sport. Literal blood, sweat, and tears put into this, hours and hours of late night training and traveling the world just to pursue my passion. And sometimes as a teenager and as a kid, I'm pretty sure all of you can relate that sometimes when you give your all, you just know it's not enough, and all of this can really take a toll on you mentally and physically. And especially as a teenager, I was still eventually a high school student with the school life to deal with. So, as all things do, this pursuit in my tennis sort of came at a cost. As I grew and matured into this school, my academics began to suffer. And I had a really limited social life, and the most important thing of all that I was missing was just a simple, normal school life that the rest of my peers were experiencing. And at the same time, my tennis on an international level started to regress. I could no longer beat the people that I used to be comfortably and cope with. And for the very first time in my life, I began to question myself and my abilities. And I really asked myself, was all of this worth it? And this sense of self-doubt was the first time I had a sense of doubt in my mind in the first place. And I think it's something that really stuck with me for many, many months. And so when I was thinking about this decision, I eventually sat down with my parents and I told them that I wanted to slow down on my pursuit for tennis to balance this lifestyle of academics and sport. And I can say up till now, I'm pretty sure all my friends know that this was really the most heartbreaking and difficult decision that I've had to make in my life. Having really half of your life stripped away from you immediately, and having that void in you, it really takes a toll on you. And when I returned back to this normal school life, with less of a pursuit towards tennis, the truth is that I had absolutely no motivation in school to study or to even listen in class. And the irony of this situation was that my studies flunked even more after this. But I love to think that in life, there's always something waiting around the corner for you. So one day, I was in school and I had an exam, and I actually got caught cheating on the test. So my teacher called up the head of grade, and I feel this was really the most monumental and pivotal moment that truly shaped me to who I am today. When I came back home, my parents were not even angry at me, but I could really see the absolute disappointment on their face, and it was so stark and so much that it really made me question myself and who I had become. I asked myself, what happened to the resilient, determined boy that I was when I was pursuing my dreams? And was I really willing to throw all of that away just because I didn't get what I want? And the answer, of course, was no. I told myself that I had to be more determined than ever to transfer into this new life of mine, this new school life, normal school life, to the very best of my abilities, and using the values from my roots to inspire the growth in my shoots that will mold me into the person that I will become. And through that determination, my academics finally started to flourish. And through this newfound school life, I began to expand my social life. And the best thing of all that I've gained from these experiences and the balance that I had to find is that I finally got to experience this school life that I never knew. But the most important thing, and the thing that I also want all of you to take away, is that I stepped out of my comfort zone, and I was more open to try new things that the school had to offer. And that's truly led me to find the closest friends in my life that I hold dearest to my heart, some of them are sitting in this room today. But then, that is what surprised me actually, is that there was so much more to life than tennis. But I think what truly struck me the most was that I didn't have to go to the extremes in one aspect of my life to succeed in the other. I was still finding success in tennis, but now at a local level. But at the same time, I was beginning and starting to experience this school life, this new flourishing of my academics, and all the opportunities that I gained. And now that I'm reflecting, and Mr. Bird has just entered the room here, I actually begin to realize what an awesome school SJII is. During my pursuit of tennis, This school has endlessly supported me in my journey and allowing me to travel in the world just to pursue my passion. And I can say that without this school, it would truly not have been possible, and my success on the court is largely due to their support. And I think the other thing that I started to realize is that I think we often overlook the opportunities that this school gives us, in a sense that the opportunities that it gives us allows us to find the very friends that we hold dearest to our heart, and the very communities that we surround ourselves in. So now that I'm experiencing this new school life currently, I'm reflecting and I realize that all these experiences in school and all these values that has taught me has truly made me realize that there's so much more. It truly taught me how to love, how to be compassionate to my friends and my people. And most of all, it developed a sense of camaraderie in me and this sense of bond that I really truly would have never ever learned if I didn't find a balance between my academics and my tennis. So that's when I realized that after all of this, success for me was truly never ever quantifiable. And one thing that I want you to take away from this talk is that success, of course, is never ever about measuring your results or your achievements to someone else's. Success, in my definition, for me, was about finding a balance between the things that I loved the most, which was tennis and this newfound school life. And I think when you begin to find a balance in life, you start to truly realize what life has to offer you. And I think the most important thing that I learned, and I hope all of you will learn too, is step out of your comfort zone. Do the uncomfortable and do the things that you will never imagine yourself doing in 2 years. Because I can probably say that as a grade 8 student, I never would have imagined I would be standing here at this event speaking in front of all of you. But it's the fact that I stepped out of my comfort zone and I did the absolute uncomfortable that has allowed me to find success in more ways than one. I'm now a more confident person and I'm comfortable speaking in front of all of you now. And I think when you realize that, and you realize most importantly, that life is more than one pursuit. And life is definitely not about letting go of yourself just to succeed in one thing while sacrificing everything else. I think that's when you truly get to realize that there's an entire horizon waiting for you to explore. And I think when you realize that, you begin to appreciate life just a little bit more. Thank you.